Let us look at the fourth yes from the 5S housekeeping methodology. Seiketsu is how it is spelled in Japanese. It's ACIKTUC. Seiketsu basically means maintaining the system and standardizing the activities so that the activity can happen without an extensive supervision. Supervision is a cost, non-value adding activity. So a standardized process which can sustain itself on an ongoing basis is not a one-time activity as we do when a president or a prime minister visits the town, is more appreciable as it really keeps the image at a much higher level. What is that we try to discuss here in this fourth yes, Seiketsu or standardizing is developing the system for the virus. Standardize the process for first, second, and third years. Develop a documentation if you wanted to write a procedure or a work instruction for each of these years, 1S, 2S, 3S. Developing the training programs, internal communication plans. How will you ensure that all the people in the organization is aware of this as well as learn about that in case if they wanted to go more about that, if they wanted to really take it home. Maybe this is an area where you actually give the inputs to them. You not only look at your workplace, but also look at any of your living surroundings, whether it is your residence, whether it is your praying place, the temple, or the meeting places, or shops, shopping, anywhere where we can actually use this. Decide on the cutoff date for implementation, provide resources and allot time, and monitor and implementation and demonstration, defining the key performance indicators if you can do that, and collect and analyze the data and plan for production. Maintenance basically means that you first define the process and then implement the process activities. Identify how will you measure the performance, what are the performance indicators which will tell you that you are actually effectively implementing the 5S methodology, and create or set a norm for each of these measurements. And as you learn it from any other ISO standards, a maintenance shall also include the non-conformities, whichever is not meeting the norms. What is the action you take, immediate action, what is the root cause, and what is the corrective action, so that the problem is not only fixed but also it is removed from the scene by addressing the root cause of the problem, which could be a process based activity. A CAQC is a condition where a high standard of good housekeeping is maintained so that there is no dust, rust, or anything anywhere in the organization. Standardization could mean the continued implementation of sorting, arranging, and cleaning, or sorting and systematizing, or straightening and cleaning, which is actually the CS. In other words, when a satisfactory sorting system or sweeping are implemented regularly on an ongoing basis, repeatedly in the organization, it is actually called standardized. To maintain a high standard of housekeeping, you may have to ensure that the workplace of the organization at all times are 5S is maintained. To think of ways to prevent workplace from becoming dirty, instead of ensuring that after the dirtiness we clean it, we make sure that the dirt is prevented from occurring in the workplace. How to implement it? Implementation of the standardization of CKSU process. First one is the documentation, and then is the definition of the norms, Then it is a monitoring, measurement, and action. We actually use a PDCA cycle where the P basically means the development of the system, development and implementation of the system, and do means that in, making sure that the 1S, 2S, 3S are implemented effectively, and then monitor and measure and look for deviations and then action. Some of the examples could be maintenance should include uniform, shoes, hats, aprons, trolleys, or jigs and fixtures, container belts, mechanical facilities, etc. Ultimately, when you look at the measures here, which could be waiting time, that means no waiting, no breakdowns, no searching, and minimize incomplete items on scheduled production. Some of the measurements which you can actually look for. The criteria here is achieve good housekeeping. So you have to define what is good, and if you can measure what is good, that means that could be one of the way you know that the 3Ss are maintained on an ongoing basis. Emphasize on prevention, not correction after the problem has come. So anticipate the potential issues and make sure that during these issues the 1S, 2S, 3S are not violated. Checkpoints, time schedules, frequency of jobs, accountability of the task. Try to ensure that each area is assigned to somebody and they are accountable for any of the housekeeping 5S deviations we look at. Making comfortable work environment. Comfort could mean a backache, comfort could mean a long walking, comfort could mean raising the hands more than normally what you do, or turning back, twisting it, looking for a long distance, reading a smaller uh, reading a smaller meters, etc. Practicing the standardization process, if you really look at the garbage collection is one of the very good example where if you can collect the garbage, segregate the garbage like plastics or paper or food items or cans, metal cans, etc. That means that in the work area it gets collected, segregated, and then it gets transferred and then disposed. So that way the disposal process, you don't mix up everything and you expect the cleaning person to come there, collect everything, sort out everything. So it becomes double work. You are mixing it and your housekeeping person is segregating it. Color coding is a good methodology. With this example, what you see in the PPT. Foolproofing, poke-yoke. You should not be able to make a mistake. So it could be through pictures or it could be through mistake-proof activity, which actually prevents an error from happening. Responsibility and accountability, including labels, and continual inspection. If somebody is violating, you have to catch them and then say, what is the root cause of this violation? Why is he violating? Prevention of dirt, dust, noise, vibration. Prevention is better than cure is the standard slogan. Visual control science. Provide the science. What is the frequency of cleaning or which areas that these stages are collected. Removal of trash. How is it done? What is the frequency? Like that. Display all the activities of fibers. In some of the employee areas like canteen, washroom, or even toilets and washing areas, vending machines, you need to ensure that where public, lot of people are coming, accountability may sometimes gets diluted. So you need to ensure that the cleanliness and hygiene, sanitary conditions of the employees' facilities are maintained. Try to develop an action plan as per the standardization process. Develop an action plan for maintaining series, ATOM and CSO, and prepare a Seiketsu checklist. This checklist could actually mean that you try to measure or monitor the 3Ss which we already talked about. See how you are able to do this through an exercise. Okay, so let's go to class 5S, 5th yes. Okay.